Hello, welcome to Driver Seat and to the facelifted version of the second generation Isuzu D-Max pickup truck. Now the truck gets a new look for 2017, including a new bumper, grille and there's a new bonnet. It also gets projector headlights and LED daytime running lights. There are also new alloy wheel designs and there's a new engine, whilst there's 5 trim levels to choose from and 3 different body styles. Whilst at the back there's a new tailgate. So that means there should be a D-Max to suit your budget and need, whether it's the 2-door single cab, the extended single cab with the rear bench, or this double cab with 4 doors and 5 seats. We're testing the Utah, which is the second top of the range, and we're going to take it off-road and do a little bit of towing to show what this D-Max can do. So this Utah version costs £25,000 or just over, plus VAT, and comes packed full of equipment. There's air conditioning, satellite navigation, leather seats. This one's also got the automatic 6-speed gearbox. So can I get comfortable? Well, with the electric seats, yes I can. There's plenty of adjustment. I've got a really high up commanding driving position, so I can see over most hedges to check my livestock. The steering wheel doesn't have a reach adjustment, which is really disappointing. It's just tilt. So some people may find it a little bit more difficult to get super comfortable. There's lots of storage in here, a decent sized door bin, a couple of cup holders between the seats, a deep and wide storage bin under the central armrest, and then lots of little hidden areas. So each side I've got another cup holder. There's this central dash lid which lifts up, and then a twin top and bottom glove box. And to finish it off, a sunglasses holder. In the back, there's got to be enough room for 3 burly chaps to get them to site on time. It's got quite a comfortable rear bench and decent leg room. I've also got enough headroom. 5'9" and I fit quite comfortably indeed. There's a door bin that will take a bottle, 2 fold down cup holders and a USB port. In between the seats there's an armrest, but to fit those 3 big burly blokes in shouldn't be too bad at all. There's decent headroom. The transmission tunnel isn't too tall, it's quite wide but it's not too tall, so you can readjust your legs. That should be okay. While over the load bay there's a few options. You've got this roller cover, whilst you can get the larger hardtops as well. This tailgate's quite heavy, so you've got to be careful bringing it down, and then push that to open up a big space. Loads of room for my box as you would expect, and it's easily wiped down and washerproof. So let's get the D-Max going and see what it's like on an off-road. So those 5 trim levels are made up of utility, Eiger, Yukon, Utah and Blade. So the new engine is a 1.9 litre diesel, which replaces the previous 2.5 litre. It develops 162 brake horsepower and 266 pound-feet of torque, which is enough to get it from standstill to 62 miles an hour in 12.7 seconds. It can be selected with either a 6-speed manual gearbox or an optional 6-speed automatic, which is about £1,000. This new engine also doesn't need AdBlue, which is a real bonus because almost every engine coming out now that's diesel has to have the AdBlue inconvenient top-up. The entry-level car is also available as a 4x2 rather than 4x4, with the rest of the range having the 4-wheel drive system. The 4x2 returns 45.6 miles per gallon, whilst the 4x4 returns 40.4. These are unofficial combined cycles. However, plop the automatic on there and that reduces to 36.2. Across the 3 CO2 ranges from a best 163 and the auto worst being 205 grams per kilometre. In this automatic version we've been returning 32 miles to the gallon, just pottering around and doing the national speed limit. This also has selectable high and low range for off-roading. Again, depending on which trim you go for, the payload ranges from 1,091 kilograms up to 1,282, while all models have 3.5 ton towing capacity. Combine the four-wheel drive system with the ride height of this and it performs very well off-road. We've forded rivers and done some quite rough terrain. Okay, the course didn't quite push this to its limits, but if you're on a construction site or traveling around your farm and land, this performs particularly well. It's also reasonably comfortable as it's doing it, although I did find the steering quite heavy. So to give this car greater flexibility, you get hill start assist, which we've done with a trailer, and with a combined weight of about 5 tonne, performed very well. There's also adjustable hill descent, so set the hill descent and you can brake and accelerate to change the speed that you're descending at, which is again very usable and very easy to use. Under harsher acceleration, the engine is pretty vocal, but it's got a very good linear power delivery, so at all points it's very smooth and consistent in its performance, and that's even with the trailer attached on the back. It doesn't really show too much strain. There's a moment or two for the gearbox to kick down, but once it does, it moves away pretty swiftly, and there's enough there to ascend any decent hills or overtake any slower traffic ahead. Down a not too rutted A road, the ride isn't too bad. It's a little bit wallowing, lofty over crests and bigger bumps, but soaks up most of what the road has to offer. However, get it onto a bumpier, more twisting road that you'll find up here in the Yorkshire Dales, and it can become quite bumpy, quite uncomfortable, which is really surprising. But the trade-off is better body control through the corners. Now, I'd never say this handles particularly well, but it does stay reasonably flat. The steering is generally always heavy, and if you hit a severe bump mid-corner, the steering intensity will change. And it's actually surprising how much steering angle you often need to put in. All-round visibility is pretty good. None of the pillars are too thick, and the back pillars in this one are quite thin, so you can see around really well. The reversing camera on this model helps parking, as does the front and rear parking sensors. On the motorway, the D-Max is pretty composed. It's reasonably quiet, around 70 miles an hour. There's some wind noise from this front A pillar, but the engine settles down to about 2,000 revs per minute. So you can do long distances. There's cruise control as well, so you can just sit back and relax. The ride's a little bit bumpy, but not too bad, and you can certainly tolerate it. Depending on what trim you go for, lower trims just get a radio, while higher trims get either a 7-inch colour touchscreen or a bigger 9-inch. There's also DAB radio, sat nav, keyless entry, remote central locking, electric windows all around, heated seats, and front and rear parking sensors. The infotainment system isn't the sharpest with this 7-inch system. It takes a little bit of time to familiarise yourself with it and work through its idiosyncrasies, but it's getting me where I want to go, so I can't grumble too much. The D-Max comes with a 5-year, 125,000 mile warranty and 5 years European breakdown assistance. The D-Max still feels a little bit too agricultural with its boomy engine and firm ride. However, there's no doubting its off-roading ability. It's very, very impressive. It's now got a nice interior, it's well equipped, and it offers so much range variety. Thanks for watching Driver's Seat. If you've enjoyed today's video, remember to subscribe to the channel for free and let us know what you think about the new D-Max.